One of the best feelings in the world. If you woke up a billionaire tomorrow, what's the most pointless thing you'd buy? One of those Roomba lawn mowers. If it's anything like the vacuum, then I'm still putting in time watching it, making sure it doesn't get stuck somewhere or need cleaning. I'd commission someone to build me a superhero outfit just so that when I have kids and a family, I can have them stumble onto it and pretend that I was a vigilante in my early years. A genuine medieval suit of armor for my guy to put on display. A giant boulder. Hear me out. Ever hear of levitated mass in Los Angeles? They brought in a 340-ton boulder as a permanent public art installation at LetsNotMeet. The project was estimated at $10 million. I'd like a similar boulder, brought in from a similar distance from my backyard. I want people to wonder, why? And how? Whenever they visit my home and see a large boulder sitting in my yard, serving no purpose but to make people wonder. They'd have to dismantle pieces of my home or demolish my neighbor's home to get such a boulder into my backyard. Perhaps I'd use it as a cornerstone of my house, which would otherwise be made of modern materials, visible from the inside as well as out. It's the most baller thing I could possibly do. I thought about buying the most ridiculous PC setup ever, but then realized I wasn't thinking big enough. As a billionaire, I could instead buy a company to engineer PCs that would be obsolete in less than a year on my behalf. My favorite grill joint in the town I'm from. I'm concerned the old lady may not be able to keep it afloat if the corona crisis ruins the summer. I'd only ask to buy it so she could run it worry-free for as long as she wants. Every game in DLC on Steam. Not a lot of Steam games, but every Steam game. A 1950s style movie theater with balconies and ushers in pillbox hats and shiny brass buttons. It'd be enormous, to fit as many as possible in comfort, with a massive screen and top-of-the-line modern sound system. Tickets at the box office only, cheap prices for all but luxury balconies. High-paid staff. Classic concessions, at low prices. Movies shown would be chosen by me, daily. All my favorites. I'd record an introduction for each movie like Walt Disney, while sitting in a leather-back chair in front of a fireplace, wearing a velvet smoking jacket and reading a book. With a corny "Oh, hello there. I didn't hear you come in. Tonight's picture is special to me because, etc." We do these days. Like Star Wars, in order of episode, on May 4th every year. Or Friday the 13th marathons on Friday the 13th. Movie genres would be a big range, PG-13 and Rafter 8, but as they would be my picks, there wouldn't be much drama, romance, or Oscar bait. Horror, sci-fi, action, adventure, and comedy though? Oh yeah. It would operate at a perpetual loss, but I'm a fucking billionaire, what do I care? A sack of hammers. Then when anyone says something that pisses me off, I'll point at it and say, "You're not dumber than that, are you?" New pair of socks every day. One of the best feelings in the world. I'd buy the roundest ball in the world. Raw material cost 1 million euros and it's literally the most pointless thing in the world. I would buy all tickets to a insert popular music artist concert. On the day of the concert, I would appear too late to the concert and leave the place after 5 minutes. When the artist stops playing after seeing me leaving, I would heavily complain. That's it. Every single DLC for Train Simulator. Can't think of a worse way to blow a cool billion. I'd pay someone to be my hype man. No matter where I went, there'd be someone hyping me and keeping the mood right. Like, I'm buying groceries and my hype guy is "They're going to get ya sad asses out my man's way. We got parties to get to and fine women to kiss." I'd buy a snake. Habitat and everything. And not a cheap one either, an expensive ass snake. Like a $2,000 snake. Then I'd pay someone to take care of it, but the point is I bought a snake. The staged kind of erotic affection that only escort girls can give me. An island and turn it into a republic. When the Powerball jackpot was at $1 billion a while back, my friends and I were talking about this. My friend has a super old, super beat up BMW, pretty stock. He likes the classic look. I'd take all my friends on vacation, and while we were all partying in Goa or some shit, I'd have his car stolen and restored, but in a way that he'd hate. Fix all the rust, but make it like candy flake paint, airbags, stupid wheels. Like, spend several weeks and hundreds of thousands of dollars on a dumb prank that ends with someone else having a car they don't especially like. I buy a hazmat suit and bribe a buddy to run into Walmart naked, dripping pink jello, as I chase him in the suit. One of those oxygen machines that you sit in and it gives you more oxygen, it's supposed to increase health. One of those fancy Iberian hams, and if it's as good as I think it will be, I will also build my own Iberian hammer. The Power 9 in the beta printing from Magic the Gathering. I would also get myself a full playset of the original Dual Lands, but I would probably get them in unlimited or revised. All the Lego sets, and a house to display them in. A place to keep all the pointless shit I've already acquired. 10 metric tons of Lucky Charms marshmallows delivered to a friend. A Volkswagen Tiguan, painted to look like a dinosaur, and where the letters that normally spell out the name of the care model, it would Tiganate on. Oh, and the horn is a Godzilla roar instead of normal. I would buy Illumination Entertainment. And I would make good movies instead of that Minion shit. A sphere of pure gold. Make sure to buy multiple trained geese to go with it. Convince everyone your goose lays golden eggs and that's where your wealth comes from. Keep the others as backup. Every time one is stolen, just bring out the next one and pretend nothing happened. Continue the charade for as long as you possibly can. I would build a house, then have a basement that is a massive Dungeon and Dragons themed room with a sick-ass table and all the miniatures I'd ever need displayed in glass cases around the room. Oh my god. Inflatable sumo suit. It's been a dream of mine to dance to Shakira's Hips Don't Lie Sumo edition on Just Dance wearing a sumo suit. Animal Crossing New Horizons and a Switch. Student, I can't justify spending hundreds for one game. Simple. Buy a $999,999,800 worth of sand, and get a $100 leaf blower, then wreak havoc. Then maybe get 100 pointless pencils. A second yacht. The first one I'd buy would be for clout, but the second one? That's just because I can. A first edition copy of Little Women. I collect interesting copies of the book and I think that would be the ultimate. A shipment of 75 full-size shipping containers and a small army of excavation equipment and operators, some electricians and engineers, and a square mile of private land. Guess what I'm building? A Volkswagen Beetle, not the newer models. I want a classic dome-looking one, modded to look like the Batmobile. I feel like nothing I'd buy would be pointless. My life goal is to be a person who is not in employment, education, or training. I would buy a crap ton of land, several modular homes, and have a solar farm for my family to live on and golf carts to get from one end of the compound to the other. My family is very close-knit but sprawled over 3 states, and we love spending time together, but also need to be able to go to our own homes and be away sometimes. Plus the house situation in America is kinda shit, so everyone would be able to have a secure home for the rest of their lives and never have to worry about that again. Trump Tower. Then I'd rename it Barack Obama Tower. Pointless to me? I'd form a collections company and buy $500 million of medical debt for 90% off and just dissolve it. A hat for every time I went out of the house this summer. I would buy the shop that I used to work at and I would bulldoze it down and build a hot dog stand there. I would buy a house outfitted with numerous comic book style secret doors. Some people I know love the Friends sitcom. I'd pay Janice to appear at random times and locations to do the whole "oh my god Janice" laugh bit. I feel it'd be money well spent. An enormous Dyson hand dryer I can walk through when I get out of the shower. A Dungeons and Dragons dice set made out of precious stones. I would buy the 5 kangaroo ninja costumes from the movie Warriors of Virtue and wear a different every day to work for the rest of my life. Buy a musk and pay someone to shave it. Then take a picture of it, and put it on the internet. I cannot find a picture of a shaven musk ox anywhere. Several of Don Johnson's outfits from Miami Vice and an original Jackass leather shoulder holster. For a 5-inch 1911 though, not a Bren 10. I'd probably buy a cheeseburger on my way back home. But not before saying sorry to the billionaire for waking them. A 3,467.78 pound ice sculpture of Mark McGrath from Sugar Ray. Buy the company I work for. Then I'd lay myself off and collect unemployment. That's called working the system and also adheres to the first rule of being a billionaire: be a dick. A dishwasher with a clear door. I've always thought it would be fun to look at while it runs. A new car. Hear me out. I have a car. It's in decent shape and paid off, but it needs new tires and the electrical system probably needs some work. We have avoided buying a new one because we are about to have a baby and don't want another monthly bill. So I would buy myself, my husband and our teenager whatever ridiculous new car we wanted, maybe a newer used car for the teenager since she's a new driver and it will likely take some dings in the coming years. Then pay off our mortgage, stick the money in savings and live off the interest. Oh, and pay to give birth at home so my daughter and husband could both be there when the new baby comes. Rock polisher. The ones that are like a little cement mixer that tumbles them overnight. I asked for one almost every year as a kid. To be fair, my parents did give me life, fed and clothed me, and helped pay for uni. Holy shit, just realized can now afford one. Ballet point shoes. I don't know, they just kinda look really cool. I'm a Highland dancer around 11 years now, haven't taken a ballet class since I was 5, so would be no use to me, but I would just love to have them on display. A Roomba. It wouldn't even have to clean anything, just would like to have it roam around the house. A US senator / rep / politician. This is assuming I get the billions after a couple of decades. They're basically making themselves obsolete as by handing over the reins of the country to corporations. Thank you for watching Reddit Space. Please subscribe if you love these Reddit stories.